And my name is Randy Samples, and my company name is Snache International, LLC. And the product is a sport that we are introducing into the area that is a physical sport, and it allows people to get the chance to be able to develop skills in defensive and offensive techniques. I'm a football fan. I like boxing. I like them all. But one of the problems is that almost every week they have an actual injury list. It's not just one person, not just one time, once in a while, but it seems like it's all the time. There's someone being very injured, pretty good injuries. And so we want to try to avoid that. But just in case, we still want to have gloves that actually protect the fingers. And the goggles are there, of course, to help your eyes, keep your eyes from being injured at all. In Snatch, he who strikes is he who loses. We count coup, we do not count bruises. It's a concept that's really not new. A lot of the indigenous peoples around the world, instead of getting into a war situation with each other where they're actually killing each other, what they would do is they would go into their enemies or their opponents, that they were someone who they were having a dispute with, dwelling at nighttime maybe, and they would remove something while they were sleeping, and then they would take it out and they would show it to them the next day, and they would say, hey, I could have, but I didn't hurt you. All I did was took your point pad. This is 2 points for this blue point pad, and 1 each for the red, and 3 for the yellow point pads. And you're trying to block them, but they're also flat up against the body to give the same concept as would be as it was actually your body. We have what we call a coup counting referee. And so they come in the beginning of the game and they have a basket. They have a coup basket. First of all, we shake hands. And they come in with their basket, and people put their coup in the basket before they start. And this could be anything. It could be a hat, it could be a pen. As I say, anything that could have been collected. And when you play the game, you're snatching something off of somebody. You're not hitting them though. You're not knocking them over. You're not tackling them. You're not trying to knock them out. You're just snatching, okay? So that's what the word means, Webster's definition: to seize or grasp something unceremoniously without permission or right. But we have a little bit different of a take on that. That's it.
There's a new dawn rising on the concept of contact sports. Yes, there is contact in Snatch, but in Snatch, he who strikes is he who loses. We count coup, we don't count bruises. Snatch is an exciting new contact sport unlike any other. No tackling, punching, or kicking your opponent. You see them as a sport mate who wants to get better at this just like you. And you're working on that together. The object is to snatch the point pads off of your opponent's harness and throw them into your goal. Your goal is the goal you are facing when you start. Your goal stays the same throughout the round. There are 4 rounds to each match. During the round, you try to snatch your opponent's point pads and throw them into your goal. The more of your opponent's point pads you get into your goal, the more points you earn. But you have to be fast. Each round is only 1 minute long. And as soon as you or your opponent loses all the point pads on the harness, the round ends, even if there are no point pads in the goals. Snatch exercises your mind and your body. It keeps you on your toes and thinking fast. Concept: to play an aggressive sport with contact without thinking of hurting your competition. Not tackling, punching, or kicking them. To see them as a sport mate who is wanting to get better at this just like you. And more like you're working on that together. Helping each other develop offensive and defensive skills, speed, and precision. It's based on the concept of counting coup. Counting coup is illustrated by this young lady. She knows how to deal with a bully. Using stealth, she takes his hat, shows it to him later, and her bike is returned to her no problem. Don't mess with no Supergirl. Benefits: exercise, fun, and excitement. Skill development of your mind and your body. Snatch: exercise your mind. Equipment: the harness comes in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. There are 2 colors, blue and black, but you can request other colors. 4 point pads with each harness. We do insist that you wear goggles. Gloves are sold separately. The goals are also sold separately, and they all come in team colors. Here are the rules. Open points. Open points are an exciting part of the game. Point pads that are knocked off to the ground of the floor and don't go out of bounds or in a goal can be picked up and either scored or put back on either player's harness in the right color spot. Blue and yellow have one spot, red pads have two. Sweet spot. This one's simple. Get a point pad in the middle and double your points. In other words, blue would be worth 4 points, red 2 points, and yellow 6 points. Out of bounds. If someone goes out of bounds, the game stops. You reset time and position, and then keep playing. If the goalie goes out of bounds, play continues. Point pads going out of bounds. Point pads that go out of the rectangular playing area are out of play till the end of that round. When the round is over, all point pads are put back on each harness. Starting out. Each player meets in the middle of the ring in the beginning of the game and puts their coup in the coup basket. They shake hands and start. When playing 2-on-2 with mixed teams, female meets female in the middle of the ring, and male meets male. Each player plays every other round as the goalie. Scoring points. Point pads must go into the goal to score, not just over the line in the front of the goal, and not on top of the goal. You score in the goal you are facing when you start, and you defend the goal that's behind you. Goals stay the same throughout the match. Adding up the points is called counting coup. The round ends if you or your opponent has all their point pads removed from their harness. If you get all the point pads in the goal, it's a full count rip-off. If you or your opponent has all the point pads ripped off, but they're not all in the goal, it's still a rip-off and it still stops the round, it's just not a full count rip-off. At the end of the match, you add up the points, and of course the one with the most points wins. The coup goes to the winner. They keep the coup and the basket. For more details, visit www.snache.com.